Capricorn, this is a month where you're using all of your wits, all of your intelligence, all of your personality, and that famous Capricorn star power to do what? To bring out the big smile, to bring out the good attitude, to bring out the nice vibes, in order to neutralize some of the crazy toxicity that unfortunately could be coming your way this month. And you're saying, what, you started off so well? You said stuff about smiling, star power, intelligence, and what's this about grinning and bearing through something? Yeah, well, let's do what we always do, my love. Let's shuffle the cards and wait on all the right ones to come along. And in the meantime, let's talk about this energy. So this is that month where we start off with the Sun and Mercury in there with Uranus in Taurus, a fellow earth sign. And there's a feeling of, come on, get yourself together, get your feet on the ground, put your shoulders back and put on that big smile, because it's showtime in some cases, which is very, very positive. Showtime to push yourself ahead, to get out there in the world, to deal with all the uncertainty that's going on out there at the moment, to deal with the work stuff, the economical stuff and everything that's going on. It's like, no, while everybody's panicking, it's showtime. I'm really going to put on the big beam here and make sure that I'm not going to let this shit get me down. And that's a wonderful thing for you to do. And it's a sincere thing for you to do, using this strong star power personality of yours to get through all of this and even some particularly complicated or annoying shit, okay? And where is that complicated and annoying stuff coming from? Yeah, it's coming from somebody that you would have once loved or that you do love. Now that could be maybe an ex, it could be a family member or even a friend this month where there was a huge amount of love there, there was a huge amount of camaraderie. You would have considered yourself very, very close. I mean, if it's family, it doesn't get closer than that, you know. So there's a feeling of I love or have loved this person, but I've seen something. I've been so disappointed by them in some way or other. I've been, in some cases, even feeling like that they've become jealous of me and even beginning to worry, like, are they doing crazy shit on me deliberately because they're jealous of me, because they don't like to see me succeed, or because I don't quite know what it is, Capricorn, but it's like they're deliberately, whatever they're doing seems to be a deliberate a slant against your good name. And you're saying, I'm not putting up with this. And you certainly aren't. And we'll get to that in a moment. But you're using all of your sunshine, all of this star power, all of this Capricorn force to kind of not PR your way through it. Let's not say it like that. That's a bit too hard, cold and fast. But to smile through it and to be sincere about that and to say, I'm not letting them get me down. I'm not letting them do that. I can transform everything here with a little bit of intelligence, a little bit of creativity, and certainly using my personality to neutralize something that has really affected me, whether directly or indirectly. This has really affected me. And in some cases I feel it. It's almost like there was something about, this could have a knock-on effect to me. They're behaving badly over there, but if people find out that I'm associated with them in any way or that they're related to me or something, then that could have a negative effect on me. Now, I know that sounds very calculating and cold, but it could come out like that, Capricorn. There's a feeling of, stop dragging me through the mud. Stop, grow up. And I'm trying to get on with my life here, and you're trying to bring it down. I'm trying to maybe put a good face on to go out there and get the work, meet clients, impress my bosses. I'm trying to, be cool with all my friends and my network scene. I'm going through it like everybody else, but what I don't need is the extra issue that you're bringing. It's hard enough to do what I'm doing, bitch. Don't be bringing this extra thing that I just feel, Capricorn, it's like like a groan, like, oh, here we are. I can't ignore this. I can't ignore this. And I don't think you will be ignoring this at all, because what I see is all the energy slowly over the month is starting to move into Gemini. Yeah, somebody letting you down there. It's slowly moving into Gemini. The Mercury and the Sun will be moving there at certain different points. Venus is in there and she's retrograding this month. We've the new moon in there on the 22nd of May. And the North Node of Destiny is shifting out of Cancer and moving into Gemini. And all of this is going on in your 6th house. Now, 6th house means many, many things. But here it's a feeling of, I'm going to clean something up. I'm going to really go in and maybe try to put something to an end by cleaning it up, tidying it up, putting a healthier slant on a relationship. It's not okay that you go around and talk about me, or it's not okay that you do something weird and then drag me into it in some way or associate me with the shit that you're doing. So I've really got to focus on this. I've really got to clean this up. And in some cases, it's like I'm going to do, how would you say the feeling I've got here? It's like there's a kind of a separation. There's a feeling of, I'm going to clean this up. I'm not going to fight with you. We're not going to make this any more gnarly than it has to be. But when it's finished, when it's done, you're finished. You're gone. I really never want to see you after this. So there's a very strong feeling of that. And the other thing that's going on here too, we've also Jupiter retrograding this month and Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, retrograding this month in the 2nd house. And for me, the way I interpret this for you is a feeling of time to get my confidence back. The feeling of being quiet about something, very, very quiet, watching things happening, knowing that there are little things that you really don't like. People being jealous of you, I feel that too. Or people needling at you, or you just looking at them and saying, oh, don't come any closer to me, don't come near me, I don't want to be around you. But they're getting closer this month. And there's the feeling of, I said nothing for so long. I said nothing when you were behaving like an asshole. I said nothing when you were maybe even being jealous behind my back. Maybe when I heard news back that you were really doing weird and crazy shit, and people associating me with that with you. I stayed quiet. I stayed quiet. But here's what I'm not going to do anymore. And that is stay quiet. I'm going to start speaking up. I'm going to start, in some cases, saving a reputation. Because remember, we have a full moon in Scorpio this month. Scorpio is very transformative, but Scorpio gets to the root of something, and this is in your 11th house. There's a feeling of, I'm going to get to the root of this issue, and I'm going to succeed because I've gotten to the root of this issue. Succeed where I felt that somebody who I once loved or cared for is now in need of a bit of a slap. They've gone too far. They've openly embarrassed me, or openly challenged me, or openly humiliated me in some way. And maybe it's not as bad out there when everyone else is looking in, but to you, it's like, no, this is that step too far. It's definitely that step too far. I'm going to start speaking up. I'm going to start calling you out on your bullshit. I'm going to start not playing into your emotional manipulation. I'm feeling this too for some of you. Somebody that you either still love or once loved is a very, very big emotional manipulator, a big player. And in some cases, the feeling of, it's just embarrassing. That's what I feel, embarrassing. And you wanting now to cut it clean, get the big scissors out and say, not anymore, I'm speaking up. Sorry, but the shit you're doing has nothing got to do with me anymore. And don't keep dragging me into it. Don't keep associating me with it. Don't keep pulling me into it. Tidy yourself up. Clean yourself up. And if you come to me with this bad behavior or with your antics, again, for a long time, I kind of just smiled and, don't expect that from me anymore. I'm going to call you out. You're going to get a surprise from me. That's what I feel. So it's a weird feeling, Capricorn, because on one hand, you're summoning up all of this really strong, forceful personality, and you do have that strong power, that star power in you this month to really put on such a good face while you're going through what I feel is like cutting away from the people who are just negatively associated with you. And that's sad, because I sense it's sad. I sense you've given this person a chance over and over and over again. I sense that there are complications in this, because it could be family, it could be an ex, it could be some other weird association going on there. I sense it's not as straightforward as it could be. But I definitely sense that you're saying, I'm sorry, enough is enough. When it starts affecting me personally, and for any Capricorn, when somebody else's shit starts affecting how people perceive them, how maybe their bosses might perceive them, how it might directly affect your good name, then that's a line too far for Capricorn. And it's like, I'm sorry. I'm generous to a fault. And I do feel that with you. I feel you at the start of the month saying, I've been generous to a fault with you. I should have called you out a long time for your foolery and your fuckery, but I was very, very generous. And actually now, even this month, I'm still being generous. I'm still not even saying half the things I'd love to say to you. But you know what? This is a moment where I am taking care of myself. I'm taking care of my family. I'm taking care of the things that matter to me. And I can't have you coming in and affecting that in some way. Okay. Yeah, coming in and affecting that. Because with the new moon there this month, there's a feeling of keep it clean. Keep it clean. Who's good for me? Who's not good for me? Who's healthy in my life? Who's not healthy in my life? Having that level of discernment about, are you welcome or are you not welcome? Am I going to put up with your fuckery or am I not? It's all now me putting it to the litmus test, where I'm not just, as I said, grinning and bearing it. I'm now making clear divisions. And I just sense that this person, or maybe more than one person, they're just getting the cut. They're just not making it. They're not making it. That's for sure. Now, Venus is retrograding in your 6th house. There's a big focus on getting things together, getting your health together, getting your fitness together, but making your life clean, streamlined and organized during these times of uncertainty. So that's your big focus. Keep it clean, keep it moving, keep it straight, keep it all organized, keep a bit of discipline on this shit. We're all just trying to keep it all together here right now. So that's your main focus. And I know I can turn things around. I'm Capricorn after all. If I really get a level of control over this situation and keep it clean, keep it tidy, keep it organized, then I know I can get through anything, and you will. But the feeling of with Venus retrograding is that it could be old work stuff, or an old work associate, or an old work colleague, or some old work that you've done, or something attached to the work you used to do is reappearing. And there's a feeling of having to go back and clean that up in some way. Now, maybe we'll get some more, we'll get some cards and find out what that is. Sorry, the cards that came out there and there. I'm just focusing here on what it could be. It seems if you can tidy up something within your career that's coming back again, then you could be onto a real winner. a real winner, but a level of focus is needed on this. For some of you, there's probably a work idea that you had, or a career idea that you had a while ago that you kind of brushed aside, left it. And maybe there could be a moment where you're saying, if I can get stuck into that and recreate that, redesign it, remodel it, restructure it, make it all fancy schmancy again, then I could turn that maybe into something lucrative for myself. So there's a few things going on here for you, Capricorn. I feel the strongest energy, though, all in all, is this thing of, I'm ready to start over. But what people aren't expecting is that I am ready to step forward boldly, bravely, with confidence, with brazenness in some cases, and chopping these loose connections out. Anyone that interferes in my happiness, anyone that interferes maybe even in my family's happiness, or certainly for those of you with children, who's interfering with the happiness of a child, then they're definitely getting the chop. But it's sad, Capricorn, because I feel that you did once care strongly for a person who seems to be returning, and it's the manipulation that they have that will come to an end. And there's a feeling of don't let it worry you so much. I don't think people are going to negatively associate you with something that somebody is saying. I mean, with the full moon in the 11th house, it could be something that you see or read on social media, on Facebook or something. It could be through a group of friends or a team in work or something that it's like the snake in the grass is revealed. And you see it and you're like, you know what, I could cry over this, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to get mad. I'm going to get even, but not revenge. I don't mean revenge. I mean, like, I'm going to get even. In other words, I'm going to make things clean, even things out. No more up and down. No more any of this shenanigans, any of this gameplay. I'm just going to straighten it all out. Yeah. But that one thing, it seems to be very, very strong. Somebody that you care for is going way too far. And you know, I have to say this, for some of you, there could even be the threat of, you know, keep going with this, keep pushing this, just keep needling me. And the next thing you'll get is a solicitor's letter, a lawyer's letter. You know, just keep pushing me, and I'll fix this one way or another. So there's a feeling of, you know, you're trying to straighten it out, but the person might get a shock if it goes quite as far as, you know, push me a little bit further and I'll take legal action on this. You know, so it can get quite serious for some of you. I know some of you are watching this now going, what? I don't know anybody like that. I don't know. If it doesn't relate to you, then brilliant. Just keep using that lovely energy to move forward. That star power shining and using all of your personality and creativity to just push through any obstacles, you know. But I did have to address that for some of you because I feel it's arriving at that point, the severing of ties with somebody who you definitely once cared for, because it's judgment time for them. They've gone too far. Okay, I'm just waiting on one last card, my love. Yeah, okay. So, my beauty, let's go over to your big grand, ta-da, your overview. So somebody has really, really disappointed you, and I even feel that somebody has rocked you right at the foundation. Somebody that you always had good feelings for. In some cases, like they felt like somebody that was so close to you. Maybe they were a friend or somebody, and you said, this person is like a wish, a dream come true. At one point, I would have considered them like a great thing in my life, like happy. They made me happy. I felt satisfied, comfortable, and content around them. But that's changed. All of that feeling has now been poured out because there's a feeling of, I had wishes to do things in my life and I've achieved many of those things, and I thought they would be there to celebrate that with me. But instead, of, sharing the nice sweet wine with me, they just poured out bitter, bitter, bitter stuff out of their own chalice. There's a jealousy and a bitterness here. A jealousy. I even feel, if you address the subject, they'll say, well, it's all right for you. You've a good job, you've got money, you've got a house, you've got, something to fall back on. It's all right for you, but I'm not in the same situation as you, so I have to kind of do what I have to do. I can't quite figure out what the situation is, but I know this person is very, very, very bitter. And the funny thing is, I don't even think they're bitter at you. I think they're bitter in general. But unfortunately, you're in their line of fire. And maybe not just you, maybe other people, but certainly you'll be in their line of fire when you say, I'm not putting up with this anymore. I'm not putting up. This is a person that no way can you call them out in their bullshit. They will not accept it. They will not see what you're trying to say. They will get angry and defiant if you call them out on this. I really feel it. And I think that's for you is the most cringeworthy, embarrassing, but also disappointing part about it, because you're saying it would be my greatest wish if I could talk to them, if I could have a conversation with them and make them see sense, but it's not going to happen. This person's bitterness has gone way too deep into the root. They're way too ingrained in their own bitterness. These are people who I feel they have lost certain things over a long period of time. I don't like to call people losers, you know what I mean? But they've set themselves up constantly to fail. Let's put it that way. That's a nice way of saying it. They've done it. They've consistently set themselves up to fail. They've done nothing positive for themselves, but they're bitter and resentful towards anybody who has, i.e. you. Okay? But like I said, you're just not putting up with this. This is a Taurus card, and we start off with the Sun, Mercury and Uranus in Taurus. And the feeling of, I'm changing things up a bit here. This has affected me more than I'd like people to see. This has hurt me and bothered me and embarrassed me more than I'd like people to see. And I do really get the sense of this, Capricorn. There's a feeling of containment here. You might be mortified, embarrassed, horrified, or hurt, and you're trying to contain that. And I think you do. I think you have the success there with that you do manage to contain this, where it doesn't leak out, where a neighbor or a co-worker will say, hey, isn't that person your ex, or isn't that somebody, your old friend? And you're like, oh, cringe, they know. No, there's a feeling of it can be contained. And I know this sounds like a weird conversation. I know it, I get it, believe me. I'm the one tuning into the energies. It's weird for me too. But it's like, no, I'm going to handle this. I'm going to keep this together. I'm going to stay solid, stay strong. And the real big thing is push my personality out there and beam and smile through it all. And don't let people see that it bothers me. Now, of course, you'll have people that you love and care for, and you shouldn't be going through difficult things on your own. If you have family or friends that you do love, if there is a weird, challenging thing like that, of course, talk to them, and seek counsel and good advice from them. But still, the message seems to be, don't let this get you down. Don't let it steal your shine. Don't let it affect you in a negative way. You can stay strong, smile your way through this and transform the situation. But a strong issue, it could be related to money. It could be related to family. Again, I'm getting so many weird feelings here. This is a marriage card here too. It could be maybe a marriage that you were once in. Maybe you're divorced now. It could be an ex it could be a family member who is having a very weird or unusual relationship with somebody. I know this sounds all very weird, I know. There's bitterness in that relationship. It's almost like their partner is goading them on to be more bitter. Do you ever see relationships where one person makes the weapons and gets the other person to throw it? That's what I feel here. So there's somebody behind the scenes making all the little kind of, you should do this, you should say this, you should do this. But they're getting this other person who's connected to you to throw it. So they're kind of a bit of a fool in the end. They're kind of a bit of a fool because somebody else is driving this, but they're like the dog that barks, you know, somebody else is pulling the dog's tail, but they're the one barking. Yeah, this is a family card. Could be family. It could be family. Or again, somebody that you once considered that they were so close to you that you would have accepted them in as family. Maybe it's somebody that you really helped before. You might have been very generous with them, might have given them money, might have given them things, might have helped them in lots and lots of different ways. I sense a feeling of indulgence here, like you've indulged them when other people wouldn't. You've been quite generous with your time, your energy, maybe money even. You've gone that far with them, but they just keep coming back to bite the hand that feeds them, perhaps. Their bitterness has gone too far. And we're coming to the point now, mid-month, well, around May 7th, with the full moon in Scorpio, excuse me, again, the Earth Queen saying, keep calm, keep it together, hold it together. Because I sense a challenge, I sense somebody coming towards you and they deliberately want to provoke you. They deliberately want a reaction from you. Hold it together. Hold it together. Because just because somebody triggers you doesn't mean you have to blow up and ignite. You don't have to. You just follow what the Queen is saying here. You're an Earth sign. This is the Queen of Earth. Sit back into it. Keep your personality strong. Keep grounded. But heal things and do your best with Saturn retrograding now this month to stay confident, stay strong, keep your self-esteem high, keep your, persona good, clean, high, and speak with honesty and clarity. And with the Queen of Earth, she's very matter of fact. She says, we can heal this, we can clean this, we don't have to get all triggered, we don't have to fight about this. Let's bring it back down to earth. Let's bring it back down to earth. Let's heal it. Let's go through some practical details. Let's make sense of something. You're being very calm. Let's make sense of it. Let's heal it. What do we need to do to fix it? Blah, blah, blah. So you're doing your very, very best to stay calm. And somebody seems to be going crazy to provoke you. Crazy to provoke you. They're jealous of you. They're jealous of what you have. They're jealous that they can't compete with you. They're jealous that they know you see through them. They don't like that you see through them. This is almost like somebody who is in competition with you. It's like they feel like they've something against you. If it's a family member, it could be like, oh, you were always the brother or the sister that got everything. That kind of a way. They're holding something against you. And it could be very small and very petty. But it feeds into their bitterness. And Capricorn, I just get the sense of you saying, how did I draw this on me? How did I draw this on me? What did I actually do to draw this on me? Why is this happening in my life? I don't recall ever doing anything that would draw that type of shitty behavior to my doorstep. And I believe you, Capricorn. I believe you. I believe you're right. I don't think at all that you deserve the focus of attention from this bitter person. You know, I don't think you deserve it. There's somebody who, again, always feels like they can't compete in this world. They can't gain in this world. They can't accumulate. They can't get ahead. They can't win. And it's terribly frustrating when you are the exact opposite of them. And you're saying, but look, hold on. What am I winning? You know, I'm just taking care of my life, taking care of my family, paying the bills. What am I doing that they see that they can be jealous of? It's your stability, because it's very obvious that they're unstable. Your stability, your consistency, and also this thing of, you know, when you care for somebody that doesn't have good behavior, they'll bite you back even though you're being good to them. So in some cases, it's probably because you've been generous to them, you've been good to them, and they resent that you have the ability to do that. I just get the feeling sometimes with certain people you can't win, and with this person there's a feeling of you can't win with this person, in terms of trying to understand them and trying to make sense of what they're doing. Again, I'm repeating it. There's disappointment there, sure, very much disappointment, but you stay steady, stay calm, and remember that you're not like them. Remember that everything that you have is what's driving them mad. And that's their problem, not yours. That's a pity. I'm sorry about that, Capricorn, because to be honest with you, I'll return to that theme again. This is a month where you can be pushing ahead with creativity, having really nice times, actually enjoying the energies out there. And you're saying, but in this moment where I'm maybe pushing myself out there and putting on a good front and really feeling it, and it's not fake, I'm actually really, you know, times are tough, but I'm Capricorn. Sometimes when there's periods of big obstacles, I actually kind of enjoy that sometimes, because it means I've, you know, roll up the sleeves, let's handle it, let's deal with it. And it kind of gives me a bit of an energy rush sometimes, to be kind of honest. You know, I do very, very well on very rocky surfaces. And maybe I'm enjoying that kind of energy of adrenaline coming in. Come on, we're not going to fail, we're not going to lose. Times are difficult, but there's ideas out there, there's stuff to be doing. You know, like the cheerful wartime spirit, a bit like that, you know, with all the weird energies going on out there. And yet this person just won't let you do that. I'm feeling so many unusual threads coming in. It's like they want what you have. It's a jealousy. They want what you have. But the other thing I'm also sensing is it's not just them. It's somebody behind the scenes, as I said, pulling the dog's tail and getting them to bark. There's somebody behind it saying, you know, here's what you should do. You should do this, and you should say that, and you should write that. I'm sorry. But what I'm sorry for is that this is happening. But I'm also then sorry for the person who's doing it, because with Saturn retrograding now, there's this feeling of, you know, I'm going to have to get really tough here. I didn't want to have to get tough, but I'm going to have to really get tough. If you bite me that hard, I'm sorry, bite me, and I'm going to bite back 10 times as hard. I don't want to have to do it, but I will, and you've provoked me to do it. But not in a kind of all over the place way, but in a very organized, disciplined, I'm handling this, I'm transforming this, and I'm sorry, my friend, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be happy about the outcome of this. When I get rolling and when I get moving, I'll unfortunately have to make sure that I put this to an absolute full stop, end by, overdone feeling going on there. A sense of regret. I'm sorry I have to go as far as this, but I will do whatever it takes to neutralize this situation and get that away from me and as far away as possible. I don't deserve this. And I do believe you, Capricorn. I do believe you don't. So coming towards the end of the month, yeah, you're fired up. There's another person fired up, but I think with a bit of push and a bit of effort, you can send them on their way. But I do get the sense you're going to have to dig deep. It's not going to be easy. You've got to get to the root of what's going on here. It's almost like there are layers and layers and layers of what's going on here, maybe even layers and layers of bitterness, layers of information, layers of secrets. Again, it's almost like it's not related to you, but it's coming to your door. And maybe you win by digging very, very, very deep to conclude this, and it won't be easy work, but hunting them away from you. I feel for many of you, you will benefit from having your good friends by your side, maybe good friends, a network of people around you, good people around you helping you through this. Giving you lots and lots of support. I do feel that you get lots and lots of support as some weirdness. But we close the month again with like an unwelcome conversation. An unwelcome conversation. And it's weird. This person, even right up to the end of the month, is still pouring bitterness. There's still this feeling of them plus the person in the background kind of pouring it on, this negative bitterness. And there's a reluctance here, because here's the weird thing I also get, and I didn't say it earlier, but there's a feeling of them saying something that hurts you, or maybe is aimed to hurt you, and maybe they're saying it to friends or other family members. But the thing that really gets me here is that if you turn on them and say what you know, say what you see, it can really do them a huge amount of damage. You know, if I really open up and tell the truth here, this can really kind of put an end to this. But there's a feeling of, is that who I am? Is that what I want to do? I feel that if I do that, there's no going back. Because if they provoke me, as I said, to the point of saying, listen, let's not forget the time you did this. Let's not forget the time you did that. I'm going to call you out on X, Y, and Z. That'll end them. So at least there's a level of conscientiousness here towards the end of the month. You're weighing it up and you're saying, am I that person? Am I really that person who would go in and do that? Now, the feeling I have here is that you're weighing it up. That whatever this person is doing to provoke you, there's a feeling of, what have I got to lose? I don't want to do this because I want it to end. If I exaggerate this any further, then I'm making a bigger deal of it. But maybe I should. Capricorn, here's what I'd say to you. You can clean this up. Stay grounded. Don't get triggered. Keep a good attitude through all of this. If things get very, very weird or very gnarly or very difficult, then it can be handled privately. It can be something where you get legal advice and maybe get a letter sent to this person saying, cease and desist, stop what you're doing, stop calling Capricorn, or stop doing something, or stop saying X, Y, and Z, or something. There's a feeling of handle this in a very clean way, because then it can be contained. And yet at the same time, with Saturn retrograding, it's like not contained as in, oh, here we go again, I'm just going to hold all of this in, but damage control more than contained. that you still get to stand up for yourself, but it's all done within a let's contain this, let's damage control this. So it's an unusual month. It is an unusual month. Maybe all of you may not experience, hopefully not, something very, very grand, and I certainly hope you don't. It could only just show up as a miniature annoyance that you still have to deal with, or for many of you, I do feel it could be much more than that. Either way, I don't think this is a surprise to you. I think this is something that you've dealt with at some point before, but here it is being revisited again. But I think you're handling it differently this month. That's what makes everything change. No more triggering, damage control, but to end this in the most calm way, clean way, healthy way. And, you know, once this is done, then cut the cord and buy way, you know. So, interesting stuff, Capricorn. Wasn't expecting that at all. But we'll leave it at that for now, because you know these are just the general energies, my love. You know, to get into the details of the things that we don't discuss here on the general reading, you have to come over to the VIMEO readings, the deep read, and we'll go deeper into relationships. For those of you in relationships, the singles, I mean, we didn't even get a chance to talk about love. There's a new moon in the 6th house. Maybe there could be love somewhere there. I don't know, maybe in the work that you're doing or something connected to that. Money and career, we'll talk about that too. Home, family and friends. There seems to be a bit of a turbulence going on there. And everything else that we didn't kind of open up here, we'll give it a real closer inspection in the deep read on Vimeo. How do you find it? Same way as always, my love. You go down to the description box, click the link to the deep read, come on over, I'll meet you over there and we'll get stuck in and find out what the heck is going on. But my love, if we are going to leave it at that, it's good to be talking to you again. It's good to see you again. But we'll leave it at that. And as always, I leave you with all my love and a great, great, great big kiss from me to you. Mwah. Until next month, my beautiful. Bye.